Hi, I'm Jim with Pour the Juice, and today I want to talk about the bourbon crash. Why can't I find static for $70? Guess it's not crashed far enough yet. Um, I do want to talk about the bourbon crash. First, I'm going to pour myself a little bit of whiskey. Today I'm going with the Shanks 2023 release. And this is going to lead into this conversation a little bit, but let's actually put this over here. Yeah, I wanted to make this video because pretty much every bourbon YouTuber has made a video about the bourbon crash. And I just wanted to kind of give my thoughts because I agree with some of what's been said and I disagree with some of what's been said. I have a little bit of a background in economics, a little bit of a background in business, and just wanted to give my 2 cents in case anybody was interested. And there's nothing simple to say about the bourbon market dropping or how crazy it was prior to that, or it's not a simple thing to look at. But what I see, the one point that I want to make with this video is I don't think the bourbon market is going to crash. I don't think it's crashing. I do think the market is regulating. And what I mean by that is, I think there are several factors that went into the bourbon boom that is still, quite honestly, happening. Whether that you want to say is 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it's not 10 years ago, 5 years ago, there were a lot of factors going into that bourbon boom. There was increased drinking from COVID times. There was an influx of different whiskey makers, distillers, blenders, repackagers, whatever you want to say. There was a ton of interest in whiskey at that same time. People had extra money during that same time. There's a lot of factors that went into it. And so when I say it's regulating, what I mean is some of those factors have changed. And some will remain the same, and some won't. So the first that's changed is people have less money today than they did 4 years ago. People aren't sitting at home collecting paychecks. People aren't drinking as much as they used to. So those 3 factors alone, absolutely, it's going to make that bourbon bubble come down a bit. It's going to make it shrink. But the one thing that's cool, it's interesting, and that will stop it from collapsing, is there's still a lot of interest in bourbon. At least I hope there is. I just created this channel like a month ago, not even a month ago, a couple weeks ago. So if it does crash, I probably made a poor decision. Maybe I'll transition into a tequila channel or something. I don't drink tequila. I don't know. It's good whiskey. So those are some big points that I want to make on that. Another point on why the bubble is shrinking a little bit is there's been a lot of consumers being ripped off or feeling ripped off by certain products in the market and by secondary prices and seemingly by what seems like, I guess that's what I mean by seemingly, allocated bottles going to one or a few sources because of store preference or customer preference, whatever it is, and then having to fight for those allocated bottles. People want to try their E.H. Taylor barrel proof without having to pay $500 for it. And over time, over the last couple of years, whiskey drinkers have been able to go out and try a ton of different whiskeys, and in my opinion, have realized that none of them are worth that $500. And they realize that these people selling for that price are kind of ripping people off. And these companies that are pushing out their products at these crazy prices are ripping off their customers. I think a big part of it too is nearly a quarter of the bottles you see sitting on the shelf are just repackaged MGP or Bourbon. And it's by these companies that nobody knows who runs, or it's a celebrity, or whatever it may be. But it's MGP or Barton, and it's costing you sometimes double or triple what it would just buying directly from those companies. If you can go and you can buy 1792 full proof for $50, then why are you going to buy some random brand that's been sourced from Barton for $90? It doesn't make any sense. To me, at least, it doesn't make sense to me. If you enjoy that, have fun. I won't stop you. Enjoy yourself. But I do think a lot of people feel ripped off by that, or have felt ripped off by that before they knew, oh, this is just the same product I could have bought directly from the distillery for half the price. I think people are at a point now where they care more about the quality of the product that they're drinking than they do about the quantity out on the market. And I've said this for a long time now, is that what I believe is going to happen with this bourbon crash is a lot of these almost pop-up distilleries, pop-up blenders, that are selling 2-year-old whiskey and are trying to sell on the shelf with the big boys for the same price are going to fail. Because people aren't going to buy them anymore. There's too much good whiskey out there for lower prices. But there's no reason to try some no-name brand with a 2-year age statement on it, or no age statement on it, saying distilled in Indiana. That's just my opinion, though. I think brands increasing in price is also going to make that bubble shrink a little bit. I bought the Shanks bottle last year. I had previously enjoyed Baumburgers, but I'm not a huge Michter's fan. I enjoy their tenure. A lot of their stuff is just, in my mind, a little overpriced. Shanks included. I was lucky enough to get 2 of these last year. My wife loves them. But if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't buy another. I believe this one cost me $130. I've seen them on the shelves for $170, $200. And to me, that's a little crazy. I would never pay that for this bottle. I don't think I'll ever pay $130 again. And that may mean I never get a Shanks ever again. And that's okay. And part of that is, I prefer a higher proof product. So if I was going to pay $100 for a bottle of Shanks or $100 for a Stag or whatever, I would rather pay the $100 for the Stag. But I think there's a lot of people out there that are like me, that would rather pay those higher prices for a high proof whiskey that's going to pack in the flavor and have an age statement on it, and be from one of these bigger, more trustworthy distilleries. I'm not saying Mitchell's isn't. Mitchell's a big boy. I'm rambling now. My point is, I don't think the bourbon market's crashing. I think it's regulating. I think that bubble is just shrinking. It's going to get to a point where there's an equilibrium there of steady prices, steady whiskey, until there's another bourbon boom for whatever reason. If there is one. I think it's going to be slow. I think prices are going to come down very, very slow. I think distilleries are going to keep putting out special editions at higher prices, trying to grab that part of the market that's okay with spending that much money on a whiskey, because they're getting something special, they're getting something limited, and to feel special themselves, they'll pay $600 for, what is it, rare hair? Yeah. It's a little crazy. I guess I totally just took a dump on that product, didn't I? Oh well. Yeah. If you like my rambling, please like the video. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment letting me know your opinions on the bourbon crash. I'd love to hear them. Love to hear your thoughts. Yeah. Thank you. Cheers.